such a tough guy. He's there every day, shows up on time. He's such an inspiration, really. You know, it makes the little things just seem so unimportant, you know. I have so much respect for the guy. He just cowboys up, and he does great work, works really hard, and it's like nothing's wrong with him, you know. Wow, so he's got great pride, you know, it's total inspiration.
We talk to him as a friend. You know, he tells us exactly what you've heard. We assume, like everything else with this experience with him, he'll get better and he'll bounce back on his feet and be ready to continue selling the show, which a show he really believes in.
First of all, he's a star of whom people have been fond for a long time. He has that kind of, you know, iconic appeal to people, and they're, I mean, I take the concern of the public in the best possible way. I think it's really kind of because they like him and want him to feel good, and they know he's doing this great thing. He's brave enough to do a show, a demanding thing, to do an action show on television, and they want to know that you know, we're all making the right decisions together, and he's making the right decision. We feel like he is. He feels like he is, and I know when we're ready to roll again, he'll be right there as he was all year. We're talking as if this were an immediate problem. We're taking our cues from him, and he's giving us every sign that we're rolling forward. Here comes season 2. That's the energy he's giving out, and that's the way we're doing the show. We know what the reality of cancer is, so we can't help having some of the same thoughts. But we're not at the point where we're actually saying to ourselves, well, gee, what do we do when we don't have Barker?
What he loved about this part was he has a character who is, we don't know if he's good or bad. And he loves playing the gray area, and he loves the physicality of the part. And he demanded to do his own stunts. I mean, I was more afraid about him doing the stunts than, you know, his illness, once we knew about the illness. But he loves doing his own stunts. He grew up doing that. He's very physical. And he would work 5 days a week, have treatment on the weekends, come back on Monday and be ready to work for the week. I mean, he's a really gutsy guy.
I think he is accessing his own struggle in the struggle against what we call the beast in the show, which is, after all, that amorphous, endless evil we're all up against in the world. He has his own personal meaning when he goes up against the beast, and he's not going to let it get him, and he's not going to let it win. And so we all benefit from that personal engagement. He translates that into his art, as any artist does.
You can't write from the perspective of my lead character has cancer and he's getting treated for it. You have to write from the perspective of who's Charles Barker and what do I want to do with him this week. And you almost remove Patrick from the equation. And if it's going well from a writing standpoint, then that's what you're searching to achieve. And it's almost impossible to let the cancer, he has a very serious cancer. We're not in denial about it, neither is he, obviously. To see your friends on TV or in person be vulnerable and be sharing their deep, deep feelings about each other, Lisa, his wife, and Patrick, and pose to the question of how do you feel about how long you're going to live, that's a really difficult question, and I think Patrick answered it the best way he knew how. I think Patrick believes in fighting, you know, and fighting the good fight, and that will be the course of this disease, I think.
We've worked with a guy now for what's been a year since we started the pilot, who is this really tough guy. To hear him say that, I mean, I can't imagine a world where this guy doesn't exist. And in our heads, I think we're thinking he's been around for a long time. But, you know, there's a reality check, too, and he's living with that reality. But he is a guy, if anybody can eke out another day, another year, another 10 years, this is the guy who can do it.